Let's say you had a really bad day. You tripped, spilled your coffee, deleted your homework, and oh no, accidentally dropped the moon into the ocean. Don't ask how you were holding the moon in the first place. It just slipped, and now it's plummeting toward Earth, aiming for the Pacific Ocean like a giant space cannonball made of sadness, regret, and 7.35 times 10 to the 22nd kilograms of rock. So, what happens when the moon belly flops into the sea? First of all, let's assume the moon isn't just teleporting instantly into the ocean, but rather falling toward it. Normally, the moon orbits Earth at about 1 kilometer per second, 384,000 kilometers away. But now gravity has decided it wants a closer relationship, and the moon is falling fast, real fast. After a few days of accelerating, by the time it reaches Earth's surface, the moon is screaming through the atmosphere at roughly 11 kilometers per second. That's 40,000 kilometers per hour. You know what else moves that fast? Absolutely nothing that survives entry into Earth's atmosphere. But the moon doesn't care. It's not a fragile space capsule. It's a 3,474 kilometer wide wrecking ball. It punches through the atmosphere like it's not even there. Friction? Yes. Fiery tail? Sure. But vaporizing the moon? Not a chance. Now picture this. You're standing on a beach, somewhere in Hawaii, sipping a coconut drink, when you notice something strange on the horizon. A glowing white sphere is getting bigger. Much bigger. And then, boom! The moon hits the Pacific Ocean. The ocean doesn't appreciate this. Neither does the moon. The impact is more energetic than the explosion that wiped out the dinosaurs. In fact, it releases over 10 to the 29th joules of energy, equivalent to about 1 trillion nuclear bombs going off all at once. The moon creates a hole in the ocean wider than any known crater on Earth. Water is vaporized instantly. A mega tsunami, taller than any building, rushes outward in all directions. If you were on the coast of any continent, you're about to get very wet, very fast, and then extremely dead. But water isn't the only thing flying around. The moon doesn't just plop down and sit there like a wet sponge. No, it displaces millions of cubic kilometers of water and smashes through the seafloor like a cosmic wrecking ball. It buries itself deep into the Earth's crust. Magma erupts. Earthquakes ripple across the planet. The Pacific Plate decides it's had enough and files for tectonic divorce. And remember all that water. It's now in the atmosphere, along with an enormous cloud of pulverized lunar rock, sea creatures, seaweed, and very surprised squid. The heat of the impact turns a huge portion of Earth's oceans into steam, which blankets the planet in a thick, scorching fog. For the next few weeks, it literally rains the ocean. Acid rain, too, thanks to chemical reactions in the atmosphere. Life on Earth gets a very rude wake-up call. And then things get worse. The moon was responsible for tides. You know, those gentle oceanic waves that fishermen and surfers love? Well, now the tides are gone. Or rather, they've turned into one final cataclysmic splash. Coastal ecosystems collapse. Species that depend on tidal rhythms are confused, then extinct. And if you thought the moon floating peacefully in space was just for poetry and werewolves, think again. It also stabilized Earth's axial tilt. Without the moon in its orbit, Earth begins to wobble like a drunk trying to ride a unicycle in an earthquake. Seasons go haywire. Weather becomes unpredictable. Climate zones shift violently. Welcome to the new Earth, now with 300% more chaos. As for the moon itself, it's not doing great. The impact with Earth's crust shatters part of it, but let's assume most of it stays in one piece and nestles into a new crater lake the size of Australia. Now, the Earth has a giant moon souvenir embedded in its skin. People name it things like Moon Lake or New Pacific, but no one actually visits because it's still surrounded by superheated rock, acid mist, and mutant jellyfish. Global civilization takes a hit. Satellite communication is fried from the electromagnetic pulse. The sky is darkened for months. Crops fail, economies crash. But hey, on the bright side, you'll never forget the day you dropped the moon. So could we survive? Maybe. Eventually, after a few decades or centuries, the Earth might stabilize again. Life finds a way. The moon, however, does not. It is now more crater than sphere, a cosmic embarrassment half buried in Earth's crust. So next time you're casually handling astronomical bodies, just be careful, okay? The moon isn't waterproof, and Earth isn't ready for a full-body lunar tattoo. Reality's weird. But imagination? Even weirder. If you like this descent into absurd science and possible extinction, hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss the next ridiculous what if. Until then, keep asking questions and maybe don't try any of this at home.